And we see king, 6, deuce, rainbow roll off the deck here. Rast flopping 2 pair, but guess what? Eldridge flops bottom set. This is a disaster brewing here for Brian Rast potentially.
Huge cooler. Rast has 3 pair even, king, 6, deuce, and the flop looks very deceptive. How do you have 2 pair on king, 6, deuce? So he thinks he has the nuts right now. And he's doing really well against pocket aces. He's doing well against the king. He's doing well against air. You don't get away. That's the answer. You have to hit.
2.5.
And there is the check raise from Rast, making it 2.5 million. Now, if you're Eldridge, is it a call scenario, or are you just getting it in here?
I think more likely it's just a call. So if Rast has a hand he wants to go with, like king 6, you shouldn't lose that action on basically any turn, given how the stack sizes are put together. But here we are, all in.
Oh, it's so sick.
All right, Eldridge with the shove, and it is so sick indeed for Rast, as that 1 deuce is not going to help Rast. He's going to be looking for a king or a 6, with the 6 of diamonds already dead. Turn card is the jack of spades, and that brings in a backdoor flush draw for Rast. You can see some of the removed outs on the screen as well. Doesn't have all 12. River card coming. Can Brian Rast survive? It is a spade on the river, and Brian Rast backs into a flush, excuse me, and doubles up to 14.4 million. Donnie, is that how you go to the Poker Hall of Fame?
I mean, that's how you win 6 bracelets on your way to number 7.
Wow.
You want to hit top pair, top kicker against the middling pair and just get the money in. So high cards are king when you play shallow. It's true for no limit, and it's true for PLO.
It's only been 50 minutes, and I've already learned so much. By the end of this stream, I might become a PLO player.
Give it a shot.
I should, actually. I really should. I definitely have no future in Hold'em anymore. The guys have gotten too good. 9-7-4, 2 spades on this board. As you can see, Helppi out in front here, 61% to win this one. But he, of course, going up against Eldridge, who might have multiple bullets ready for Helppi, who has a pair of 7s, backdoor diamonds.
Yeah, so once again, from a principle perspective, you want to have some connection to the board, not only because it gives you equity, but also because you remove some chances your opponent hits. In this case, Eldridge has king, jack, 8, deuce. He does have a gutter, but no spade, no pair blocker, no open-ender. It's quite light, and Helppi makes the right call on the flop there. He does have potential going for the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, so he can hit trips and 2 pair. Turn is a queen, and we do see a check. I would imagine Helppi is just going to check back. You're not really trying to make a better hand full at this point, I would think. It looks like he sees some weakness here in Eldridge and goes for a bet. He is correct, though. Eldridge with king high. If he gets him to fold, then Eldridge folds 30% equity, which is still a big win for you, Helppi, at this point.
Do you think Helppi is calling the flop a lot to set up this kind of move where he's going to try to see whether Eldridge checks the turn and then he's going to try to take it away, or is it very much, or is it too much card dependent in a game like PLO?
I would say it's more card dependent. I mean, there's an element. This is going to be wild. Are we going to see a raise? Wow, we see a call by king high. This is definitely, I mean, there should be some plan on the river, which might follow through now in a deuce of spades, but check calling the turn with king high, no straight draw, and I mean a gut shot and no flush draw really only works if you have some evil plans for the river. And this is actually a river that presents itself as a pretty good one to scare your opponent. Flush gets there.
Wow, so Eldridge check calling the turn with absolutely nothing, and now he's going to come in and lead this river.
This is a tough puzzle. This is a tough puzzle to figure out. Your Helppi is like, what is this guy doing?
Wow, Helppi makes the call. Call of the night so far. The Finnish legend with 2 pairs, 7s and deuces, makes the call on the river, and a big shift here when it comes to the chip counts. Look at Helppi's smile. Look at that little smile on his face, Donnie. This man does never really give away too much emotion, but that smile speaks 1,000 words.
And very interesting to note, Eldridge didn't table his hand. He just mucked it. So Helppi didn't have to show. So no one else at the table knows what happened. No one knows what Helppi called with. No one knows what Eldridge ultimately was bluffing with.
he is a 34% underdog in this case. Oh wow, he is going to fast play this hand, and he will be in a lot of trouble sharing the king jack and looking for a hard draw. Juha Helppi basically has to assume he has nuts. Rast didn't re-raise pre. Aces beats him. But you flop a set on an ace high board, you got to go with
And
this.
there it is. Juha Helppi announces all in. Brian Rast makes the call, and this is one of those classic PLO moments. The stacks have narrowed. It's a close battle here, and all of a sudden, we have 28.6 million in the middle.
This is like 40% of the chips in play.
Wow.
It's out of nowhere.
The two most accomplished players at this final table, Juha Helppi and Brian Rast, clashing for what ultimately will be the 5th place finish, because Rast only has Helppi covered by about 150K. All right, big turn card coming up here. Helppi ahead with a set of 10s. Turn card is the 9 of spades. Rast now with 10 outs, looking for the 5 of spades, 5 of clubs, or hearts. You can see that a few cards no longer available.
That's no heart, no. While you're drawing 5, no heart, no 5.
Helppi indeed looking to avoid the heart or the 5. River card coming in. It is a 5, and Brian Rast does it again. How does he do it? He hit runner against Eldridge to double up, and he spikes a 5 on the river to send Juha Helppi to the rail and claim the chip lead worth 29 million. What a brutal way to go out for the fin. Now, I think I would catch on pretty quickly because I have a pretty sort of fluid mind when it comes to trying to understand card games.
Will Eldridge fold this? I don't think so. He has the chips to play, and he could connect with a lot of different boards. He actually has the best hand at this point. And Wang has a hand that blocks aces, can do a really good job at just flopping top pair and getting the money in. He wasn't able to win pretty much any pot. Is it about to turn around? We have a wrap for Wang and top 2 pair for Eldridge on his Jack 10 board. And this is pretty much a flip. Classic PLO. Made hand versus draw.
Top 2 against wrap. Top 2 against wrap.
Turn card coming in. It's the Jack of Hearts, and Eldridge gets the check mark here. Wang dead on the turn as Eldridge fills up and makes a full house. Yang Wang collects the largest score of his live poker career, but he will be left wondering what could have been, as he will take home $725,000, and the remaining 3 players are taking home at least $1 million. Don't go in.
Rast's going to come in with a raise here.
5.
Pot size raise with the ace blocker. Eldridge has an easy fold, and Cahn has a hand he definitely wants to play. I would 3-bet this hand, just trying to get it in. You have the 3 highest cards in the deck, and he goes for the 3-bet. And Rast snaps it off. The money goes in pre, and Cahn is at risk. He has the best of it with ace, king, queen, deuce against ace, queen, 6, 5. Blocks one of the spades. Has the better ace.
Cahn is at risk here. Doesn't look too comfortable.
Rast won a lot of all-ins today.
All right, here we go to a flop. 9, 8, 5 with a couple of hearts.
It's pretty acceptable.
Rast takes the lead. He's got a pair of 5s here.
It's terrible news for Cahn.
Yeah, he shoots up to 81%, does Rast. 7 on the turn. That's going to give Brian Rast a straight with that 6-5. Leaves Cahn drawing dead, and we are going to lose Ethan Cahn here in 3rd place from the $25,000 PLO High Roller at the 2024 World Series of Poker. $1,038,000 is the payout for Cahn.
Probably still a call.
Raise.
But that
Wow.
is not what's going to happen.
Brian Rast puts in the raise while Eldridge is holding a set. Ladies and gentlemen, we have fireworks here as Rast makes it 10.8 million. And this, of course, opens the door now for Eldridge to stick it in here and create a pot worth 44 million.
It's a committal raise, so Rast is not going to fold. Eldridge will recognize that and put the money in.
Calling.
He's just hoping to run into a set and
Or
not into a
jacks.
combo draw.
Oh, you're in good shape, man.
Uh-oh.
Set.
Set over set. Music to the ears of Eldridge.
Absolutely brutal for Brian Rast, who got luckier earlier versus both David Eldridge
set.
and Juha Helppi, and now he got set over set, meaning that David Eldridge is 2 clean cards away from doubling into the chip lead. We have our biggest pot of the night right now, 43.6 million in the middle.
Well, Eldridge got bad beated already by Rast. There's probably some flashback moment here. What set exactly is he facing?
So 3s here for Rast with 10-4 with it. 7 of hearts on the turn. Rast looking for a 3. The 3 of clubs is only out. Can he end it with a 1 out here? That'd be insane. It is the 5 of spades though. And David Eldridge with his set of jacks doubles into the chip lead that he started this final table with. So things back to where they once were.
Whatever.
Well,
Just check the dang thing.
What about this one, Donnie? What about this one?
No, that drives me nuts. If you do that, I want to throw my chips at your face.
It doesn't really help that we're on audio only, but like when you cross your arms and you put your right hand on your left bicep and then you check by just tapping your finger on your bicep. It's probably the most tilting way.
I hate everyone that does everything slow
Of the
too.
check.
Like the people that sit there and then they're like. I just want to be like, can
Yeah,
we just
whoever-
was that Dan Smith who did that?
can we just speed this up, please?
What we need is, similar to like Barry Greenstein's book, we need a guide for 2024.
Right.
Basically,
Etiquette.
how, yeah, how, yeah, basically how to not be an idiot at the poker table.
Or
That's
an
what we need.
Or an asshole.
Yeah, there's just too many things that people don't understand are just not good. For example, the slow motion. There's no reason to move like a robot. Like,
Just move.
it's okay. It's poker. It's like people won't be able to tell based on the speed of how your arm moves if you're weak or strong.
3.3.
Brian Rast firing 3.3 million. It's got a lot going on here with the 6 high straight. Also has the diamonds to go along with it. Eldridge sitting on 2 pair. Excuse me, 3 pair.
Can only play 2 of them.
Right.
This is trouble.
Has a full house outs though, aplenty.
Yeah,
Well,
this
15%.
This pot's quickly up to 11 million here. And if you're Rast, you need to fade that board pairing.
River is the king of spades. Perhaps the 3rd spade here. A bit of a scary card here for Rast as he doesn't have any spades to block whatever draw Eldridge might have.
Well, could this also be a card that saves Eldridge, you know, from putting some more chips in the pot?
Oh,
I
could
mean,
be a
he's-
card that helps him
Yeah,
in different ways.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, he tried this versus Juha Helppi. Then he had absolutely nothing. Now
well, at least
he's-
this time he has 1 spade.
Right. This is big. I like it. I mean, if you're Rast, you have 0 spades, but also you have the diamonds, which is like bad in both ways. You want your opponent to have the diamonds, and you have no spade yourself. This could work.
Eldridge finding a really crafty bet here for 6.3 million. Whoever ends up winning this tournament, they are both putting on a show. And Rast
Wow.
lets go of the straight, and Eldridge takes this one down, chipping up to 40 million. We got a real fight here.
That was strong. It's a hand you want to 3-bet all day long. Like he might just call the reduced variance and play more post flop, but this is in the book, and by the book I mean the software. This is a straightforward 3-bet. 40 big blinds, double suited ace king, very strong hand. We'll see a flop.
Is this just Rast trying to reduce variance? Is that what this most likely?
I would have to think that he thinks he has a post-flop edge and wants to reduce variance. I would say that Eldridge is a very competitor post-flop. He has shown all kinds of moves that worked and made it difficult to play against him. So, again, sometimes we're in spots where we're like, oh, let me just reduce variance here and there. But if you just play theoretically correct, like, I mean, look at this hand, 10, 6, 5 deuce. Like, you would 3-bet with an amazing hand with ace, king, 6, 4 and just extract value. Either your opponent folds pre or you reduce the SPR. If he would have 3-bet pre, he can just push this flop and take down a huge pot. But now he has to sort of navigate for multiple streets because his hand is not strong enough to check raise now at this stack to pot ratio. He has to just check call and take it from there and hope that Eldridge is backing off.
Rast does come with the call, and look at this pot instantly bloating up to 12.6 million. Any move on the turn will be costly for either player. It's the 4 of spades on the turn, giving Rast 2 pair. Is there any additional sense of security in hitting that 4?
It's certainly a big card.
Rast,
It's tricky. Eldridge now connects with the 4 in some ways. He has a gut shot now with 6 deuce.
What?
oh my God, Eldridge
strong
just
play.
swinging for the fences.
It's actually 5-5. All those hands beat Rast by a mile.
It's a good day today. I'm all in.
Wow, Rast moves all in,
You've seen enough.
and the fold comes in for Eldridge, and all of a sudden, role reversal. Brian Rast takes back the chip lead. He was standing up as if he was 100% convinced that this was going to showdown.
Correct. So Rast picks up a pair of 6s. He's not too happy with the flop. And then Eldridge has ace 10, 7, 7. Could have the best hand at the moment, which in fact he has. And he also has a nut gut shot.
Checks.
Different possible ways to make the best hand. A 7 gives him a set. 8 gives him a straight. Ace gives him top pair. Backdoor diamonds. Check back is completely standard. We see a turn, which is the 4. That's a great card for Brian Rast to bluff. He faces a check back range on the flop. His opponent probably doesn't have 2 pair or a set unless he improved with a 4. But the good thing about Brian Rast's hand is that he blocks some of the hands that interact with the 4. He has a 3 and a 6. He blocks the straight. Blocks from 2 pairs as well. So it is a good turn to bet and make marginal hands fold like ace 10, 7, 7 or just a 9, just a 6, even just overcards.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 million is the bet from Rast. Action now back on over to Eldridge.
I think if he wants to make a better hand fold than the one that he has to go bigger, maybe like 5.5. Against a third pot size bet, Eldridge has an easy decision with a lot of the hands that beat Rast at this point. For example, the ace 10, 7, 7, which does make the call. River is a 5, so Rast makes a straight. Some other straight gets there, the 7, 8, which is not a huge concern because Eldridge checked back on the flop. What's interesting though is that Eldridge actually blocks 7, 8 with 2 7s and might turn this hand into a bluff, blocking the nuts. Knowing Eldridge is certainly a possibility. He has been very aggressive in various spots.
7.
7 million is the bet.
And look at this, Rast going for value, betting 7 million with his 6 high straight. Now Eldridge has 2 of those 7s necessary for the 7-8 straight. How much does that impact this decision?
The bet is too large to call. It's raise
Wow!
or fold.
Eldridge moves all in, applies maximum pressure to Brian Rast.
Gotta respect the heart.
Wow. Time and time again, David Eldridge is showing
Never have 7, 8.
that he has all the heart.
7, 8 almost. But 7, 3. 7, 3 is a fucking problem.
He probably wouldn't shove 7-3, to be fair. But he says you can't have 7-8 because you wouldn't check back the flop. I don't completely agree with that. If he had a hand like ace, king, 7-8, he might actually not bet. But if that is the logic and he thinks he can't have 7-8, then this is just a call.
I absolutely love the fact that Eldridge sees an opportunity, has the 7 blockers here, and just stoically goes for it, applying maximum pressure on the Poker Hall of Famer. The question now is he going to get away with this one?
This is a big bluff, and he knows his image is shaky. So you got to respect the heart.
Wow, what a competitor, David Eldridge, turning the screws on Brian Rast. This is high-level poker, ladies and gentlemen.
It's possible, I guess. 7-8, just fucking nothing. 7-8, nothing.
Exactly. It is possible that he has 7-8. If he has a hand like Queen Jack
Wow.
7-8. Wow.
Brian Rast lets it go. And David Eldridge gets away with murder here at the final table. What an incredible bluff. And Rast now in real trouble. 12.7 million is all he has left. Yes, that is 12 big blinds. Brian Rast in a whole lot of trouble here. Gets bluffed on the river.
I'm going to die. He was like, I don't want to go out now. I think I can still find better spots to make this happen. And if you take that too often, if you pass up on decent chances too often for a great chance, especially in a tournament, you might fall short. So it's hard to say. We also have seen that Brian Rast doesn't have many time banks left, so that might also play into it. I'm not sure if he actually has any left.
Right, I was going to say,
I don't see any.
I think he's out. I think he is out of time banks, so it's going to make things a little more tricky for him as we see King Queen 7 roll off the deck. Eldridge with top set and the flush draw. Oh my God, this guy is really.
This is actually a good hand to slow play because now you have the set and the flush draw, especially at this shallow of a stack size. But
that's 2 million.
Oh, for a second he's going to put.
Very quick and confident chip shuffle there. Made it seem as though Rast was ready to move in here with the pair of queens.
Eldridge is smart by using a small sizing. He makes it really tough to even just fold a queen because he's betting so often. He's very aggressive, bets very frequent. So Rast is right in thinking might have the best hand. Now if he improves on the turn, that would be big trouble.
Wow, quads for Eldridge. This man bluffs when he has to and makes it when he needs to. Closing in.
This is a trouble card for Rast because it makes it less likely that Eldridge has a king and his queen should be good. Now Eldridge on the other side is thinking, of course, how can I sell this? Do I check now and bet the river? Do I bet small now? Goes for the trap.
River card brings the 7 of spades now. Double paired board showing. Brian Rast only has exactly the size of the pot left behind.
I assume he's just bouncing his timing and he wants to check and really hope this gets to showdown. But we know that there's only one way this goes to showdown, and that is if Eldridge puts in a lot of chips here on the river and gets called. So by now he probably should have figured out Rast has probably a queen. How much can he bet? Is all of it too much? Or should he go for like a 4 million bet?
A look there at Christine, David Eldridge's wife, eagerly spectating as her husband is in a dominating situation here at this final table. 6 million is the bet from Eldridge.
So to put this into perspective, Rast has 30 seconds to decide. That's it. After 30 seconds, his hand is dead.
That is so brutal. And you can see it too by his motion. You can see the nervousness in Brian Rast's body language. Makes the call with the queen, and quads is tabled. Brian Rast down to fewer than 5 big blinds, and David Eldridge closing in on the bracelet here in the 25K PLO high roller.
Ace 10, 8, 6 here and 4 big blinds. It's time to go with this one.
All right, Brian.
I think I was talking to maybe Daniel Negroni one time where there's kind of a strategy where maybe Eldridge even like checks dark at times. So it's always on Rast. He never has any time to think.
All right, here we go. All in and a call. Brian Rast, tournament life on the line. David Eldridge, a clean run out away from winning the 25K pot limit Omaha high roller. $700,000 pay difference between first and second. An absolutely enormous hand. We've seen big all-in showdowns before here at this final table, but none as big as this one, as Eldridge is on the brink of closing it out. Now Rast still has good equity. Let's see what the flop brings. King, 7, deuce, 2 clubs. Eldridge with the nut flush draw also has backdoor diamonds going for him. Brian Rast looking for a 10 or an 8 to survive here. Turn card is the king of diamonds. Now Rast down to the 10 or the 8 of hearts.
Yeah, without a diamond,
outs.
Without a club. It's a little
Wow.
rough.
Holy shit.
2 outs only for the Poker Hall of Famer to stay alive. River card is the 7 of spades. That's not going to do it. David Eldridge.
You bluffed me on the deuce 4, 5, 6 hand.
The big, the 7 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bluff.
Okay.
You never want to hear that at the end.
Nice
You
hand,
don't
nice
want to
hand.
hear that at the end.
Quick pause there from me as David Eldridge confesses to bluffing, and he bluffed his way to the bracelet, winning a whopping $2.2 million.
Definitely a phenomenal.
I was wondering who's asking for a 10.
Wow.